Hey everyone, we finally have details regarding Winterfest 2025, and it looked very similar to the last year Winterfest, which was the first iteration of this event. We are getting 4 new tanks, and unfortunately, the new Tier 10 Frost Warden is exclusive to Mystic War Chest. What that means? Well, last year Mystic War Chest could only be available as a drop from either Yule or Silver War Chest, but there was no guarantee. So you might open X number of silver or Yule, and then you'll hopefully get a Mystic War Chest. Once you do get a Mystic War Chest, there was a list of tanks that could drop from that chest. And if you had every other tank, then you are lucky you'll get the new tank. But if you didn't, then you have no idea how long it will take. There could be a best case scenario or the worst case scenario. And of course, you cannot buy the Mystic War Chest, as that was the process last year. And to be honest, I expect it to be more or less similar. Maybe they'll improve the probability of Mystic War Chest. Maybe, but I'm not hopeful. Maybe they'll give it a guaranteed mechanic. Again, I'm not hopeful. Like, we'll know on Monday, but since everything is very similar to what we had last year, I doubt it. The probability is less. The possibility is less that it will be any different, but we will find out what it is. But that's how it was last year. And all we know is the new Tier 10 is locked behind the Mystic War Chest, similar to KP070 was last year. So you will not be able to buy it. And for most players, it is safe to assume that you will not be able to buy or get that tank. And we'll have more details about the chest. But if the chests are similar to what they were last year, I would not suggest to go for the tank, as you're not going to end up getting it. Buy the items that have a guaranteed price if you like them. Or of course, you can always wait, because the tank is not that great. It's not OP, where you have to have it, and it doesn't even look that nice. So let's dive into what we are getting this year. We are getting new commanders. We have Jack Frost, regular version, the hero, and then the ultimate version. Ultimate version has all 9 skills unlocked. PVC, Melty Melvin, Robert. It kind of reminds me of Nutso from last year. And Krampus. We also have Wojciech Beer, the Bearer of Gifts skin. It's just a skin. It's not a new commander. And Krampus was updated as it got the VO this time. Before it didn't have the VO. It's always nice. I wish they also give Mrs. Claus a VO, but unfortunately Mrs. Claus is not getting a VO. For newer tanks, we are getting 4 new tanks, and the first one, Frost Warden, the Tier 10 Mercenary Medium. The tanks looks like a Morat, especially the hull. The turret looks a little bit different, but I do see that the gun detaches from the turret. It doesn't have the extra gun depression, but let's look at the stats. The hull behaves like Morat, as you can see, 2000 HP, 1200 horsepower, same as Morat, 27.07 horsepower to weight, very fast, slightly slower than Morat. Same speed, 60, reverse speed 21, hull traverse of 40, turret traverse 38, but you do notice that the penetration is worse than Morat, so 258 standard, 310 premium, not that great. Damage is 430. It is getting the more updated version of the damage. It's not the 390 that some of the tanks still have that were left behind. And HE is 525. Aim time 2.1, accuracy 0.32, reload 10.5, DPM 2455, and the gun depression of 10 degrees. So even if you don't get this tank is not close to Centurion Action 10 if it comes to the gun. And of course, it's worse than Murat, which was essentially available for free because it was Ultimate Season Pass. Even the shell velocity is slower than Murat for the APCR. So it's 1478, it is 1173, and it is 1173 as well. View range 400 as opposed to 410. So if you have Murat and Centurion, you have the better version of the tank. This is a mixture where it's a single shot, still not the greatest DPM. Yeah, you have the Murat speed, but you can't do what Murat can do, which is hit you for 1200 plus. You're still hitting for 430, and at that point, you might just play Centurion, which has crazy DPM. Looking at the armor, as I said, the hull looks similar to Murat. The turret might act same. You might get some lucky bounces on the gun mantelate, and if you're angled on the side. But the armor, more or less, it should work same as Murat. The heat will still go through it if you aim it properly. After all, it is a medium, not a heavy tank. Next on the list, we have a dual battery, and this is a tank one thing I forgot to mention. Right here you can see the Frost Warden is exclusive to 2025 Mystic War Chest. Now next on the list we have Dual Battery. This is a good tank and you can actually get it for Snowball. The dual battery available for Winterfest Storefront, Winterfest Storefront, you can get items for Snowball with you on for free. So this is a free tank. And it looks good as well. In terms of stats, it looks okay. At least for me, the way it looks. And you can also get it in Mega Bundle. The tank features a 94mm primary cannon and 57mm secondary weapon. It looks good though. HP of 1800. Power to weight 16.24, speed 60 goes 60 forward, 8 degrees of gun depression. The stats 256 standard penetration, 284 premium. Does have premium APCR, and the DPM is 2125. So not the greatest standard gun, as the alpha is low, 280, but it does have a beautiful, beautiful secondary cannon. The penetration of 154 standard, 189 premium, and you'll be using it. It's gonna actually do damage, especially when you get to the side of them. 3 seconds to reload, 105 damage, and 2100 DPM. So DPM of primary weapon by itself, not that great, but when you combine the secondary, it looks very promising. It looks very promising. Variant of 460. Looking at the armor profile, the description does say it can go hull down, but you'll see. I'm saying based on what they're saying here. Confident hull down engagement, while its mobility let it position quickly across the map. Its turret armor exceeds 300, so at arrow 1, it should be reliable. But we'll see, maybe there's some weak spot. But if they do say the turret armor is reliable, you can be held down and just dish damage. But to make that secondary weapon work, you have to get around them. The third tank on the list is Moldmaster Mark 1 Tier 8 US Tank Destroyer. It looks like the big brother of Excalibur. It looks ugly, not to mention the skin is even weird. It looks so plasticky. Usually I like plastic tanks like the 54 Cobra, but I'm not a fan of this skin. Does not look good at all. It does have the dual weapon system as well. So plays up to tier 10, hit points 1400, power to weight 19.21, goes 60, gun depression of 10. And if I'm not wrong, that's what Excalibur has as well. Primary is 90mm with 242 standard, 286 premium, and 260 alpha. Not the greatest alpha of primary, it's a 90mm. I at least need 300 alpha in tier 8. And this tank, it has sort of a fixed turret. It does have better gun arc, but again, it is awkward to play. I've played Excalibur, I'm not a fan of it. It does get a DPM of 2644. So solid DPM for tier 8 for the primary gun. Of course, it does have less alpha though. Standard is AP, premium is AP DS, so good shell velocity. And good decent penetration as well. So 286 penetration with 260 alpha. Yaw limit 100 left and right. Now moving on to the secondary weapon. It's a 70mm plastic howitzer. Penetration of 68 and 110. And your alpha is 370 and 280. Does take 12.2 seconds to reload. So it is essentially like ATGM that only fires close if we compare it to a dual weapon in Cold War. Does have solid alpha though, but the penetration it's just not there. So HE68, you should be able to splash a lot of the people. And if you get behind and you do have heat loaded, you can pen them for 280, and in addition to what you're penning them anyway. And in 110, you might be able to pen medium tanks lower plate, at least for same tier, or lower tiers, not for tier 9 or 10, of course. But the overall DPM seems good, but I'm not sure how much you'll be able to use it though, because the tank is awkward to play. It does have fully rotating secondary weapon though. And first, as I said, is heat, goes 330 meter per second, and second shell. Sorry, first shell is 80, second is heat, and heat is lower than HE by 50. View range 380 meters. Now moving on to our last tank, Winter Warrior. Escalation Era 2 independent tank. And this one looks like a heavier version of Brennus. It also features a multi-weapon system. The tank has 2800 HP, 17.73 horsepower to ton, speed limit of 62.4, hull traverse is 40, turret traverse is 34, 8 degrees gun depression. And if you look at how the tank looks, it's a heavy, but if you look at the stats, the standard gun has the same pen and alpha as Brennus, so 400 Heat pen on standard 482 premium APCR, which means if you're trying to make silver, you have to fire premium as that's a reliable shell. And 460 L for both. Aim time 2 seconds, accuracy 0.34, a little bit worse primary gun than Brenna's, but you do get more armor and DPM of 3174. For secondary, exactly same stats as Brenna's, 87 standard pen, damage of 25, and HE has 45 pen 30 damage, aim time 2.1, accuracy 0.25, reload time 15 seconds, and 5378 DPM on secondary weapon. Shell type 1 is 1302. Shell type 1 is APDS with 1300 shell velocity, and shell type 2 is HE with 1050. And that's the exact stats as the Brenner's secondary weapon. Which means now if the light tanks are chasing you, you can at least fight them back, and no light tank will try to circle you. As long as your secondary weapon loaded with that insane DPM. So yeah, the guns are similar to Brenner's, but the hull from the back, it looks like Warden hull or a Patton hull. So we'll have to see how effective the armor is, but it seems like a combination of everything. It looks like a T-72 turret with the Brenner's gun, and the rear feels like an US tank, like an M60 variant. That is for the tanks. Now moving on to our storefront bundles. But going back here again, how you can obtain this tank. This tank is available to Winterfest 25 mega bundle, and also a possible drop from Winterfest war chest. For Mold Master, it will be available to Winterfest mega bundle and in-game store, and starting December 23 in the Winterfest storefront. So Mold Master and dual battery, you can get it with snowballs. So you can earn those tanks essentially for free. You can get the Winter Warrior with the mega bundle, but that's going to be super expensive, but at least you can get it with the bundle. And once you have the other two tanks, the bundle could be slightly cheaper, but bundle gives you a lot of items that doesn't return gold, for example, commanders, emblems, and stuff. So still very expensive. And for the third tank, or the main one, the tier 10 for World War II gamers, Frost Warden, you're not going to get it because all these tanks, it looks similar to what we had last year, where two tanks were earnable, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other two, one was available in the store drop, like T-54D was available in the mega bundle and in the chest, and the KPZ was only available in the Mystic War chest. So I don't have high hopes if there will be any changes in war chest. Maybe they'll add like a guarantee war the mechanic, but I don't know how that's going to actually change and how it will impact an average player. So now going to store and storefront bundles details. Last from starts on December 9th, lasts until January 6th, so 4 weeks. And we do get to earn snowballs though, and you can buy a lot of items from snowballs. And that's what this article covers. So first of all, the toy tanks, we are getting the new Plowmaster, Holy Sparky, Yellow Rider, Nerf Destroyer, Mega Blaster, some of them from previous season. And the Plowmaster is the new one. And of course, the original toy tank and Glitter Bomb. So you'll have the base too by yourself, but you can buy rest of the tanks from snowballs. Do keep in mind, you essentially rent these toy tanks. And once the season ends, you can get their garage item, but you don't own them. So if you buy the toy tanks this year, you won't have it next year. You have to buy it again. So even if you bought them any toy tank last year, they just disappear. You rent them. The snowball cost is for renting, not for owning. And also, if you don't use your snowballs, they melt. So make sure to use all your snowballs before the season ends. Now coming on to the premium tank and toy tank snowball values. Dual battery, 17,000. Easily earnable. You can get the snowballs. They have ops throughout. If you play regularly, you will be able to get enough snowballs. Then we have T-54D. This one was only available in chest or mega bundle. And this time, you can get it for snowballs as well. 22,000. Not sure if you want to, though. It depends how many snowballs you have and then evaluate. Because similar tanks to T-54D, we had it as part of a lot of season pass this year. Then Plowmaster, available for 10,000 snowballs. Old Sparky, Yellow Rider, Nerf Destroyer. Sorry, the Old Sparky and Yellow Rider for 5, Nerf Destroyer, and Mega Blaster for 25. So they are cheaper than what they were last year, though. Now moving to 2D and 3D commanders. Some of them will be behind the chest. That's similar to last year, but you can get Robert for 6,000 snowballs. You can get Ice Queen. So I didn't get Ice Queen last year because it was only through chest. But this year I will at least get the Ice Queen as it does have the VO. These are the only two 3D ones we're getting. Then we have Tactical Santa with VO available. It was available last year as well. WoT for 6,000 as well. Then for 2D commanders we have Jack Frost, Old Haggard, Ghost of Christmas Future, Snowman, Elf UK, Elf Gumdrop. And to be honest, I don't even understand I don't find the 2D commanders any useful. I like 3D commanders because of the VO and how they look, and you can see them. 2D commander, I just don't see how it'll be useful. But I understand some people like them as well. Now moving on to camos and skin, we have the Christmas cookie camo, Tanner Bump camo, Santa's hat camo, Nutcracker camo, Corgi Christmas camo, Holiday Kitties, gift wrap, wrapping paper, and Ice Queen E100 skin. So that's a skin. So most of them are camos. You can get them for 500 snowballs. Again, these days, you don't even have to buy camos that you can earn from different events. And if you missed Ice Queen skin last year for your even 100, you can get it now. For emblems, Ginger, Deadman emblem, Polar emblem, Sergeant Frosty. There are a bunch of emblems all available for 250 gold. For garage gear, of course, if you have the toy tank, you will get garage gear once you lose your toy tank. But other than that, you do get the Christmas event, snowman, toy trolley, mailbox, sparkler, bunch of different ones. You can go through it. I never buy them, but since they're available for snowballs, maybe I'll buy one of them. Now moving on to the in-game bundles available for gold. And that's the Winterfest Mega Bundle available for 56,500, and I doubt it that you guys have sitting their 56,500 ready. Or someone obviously will, right? But not for an average player. You will get dual battery, you can earn it. You get Mold Master as well, but then this one is either from the chest, Winter Warrior, or from the bundle. In-game store vehicle bundles, we can buy ELT even SS12, top tier escalation era 2 tank. However, it doesn't come by itself. It comes in a bundle with the Ice Queen minion skin and Ice Queen 3D Hero Commander. So the tank by itself is 12.5 gold, that's the base value. And it was earnable last year, so essentially free because it was available for snowballs. But this year you have to pay 17,000. That is very expensive. That is very expensive because who don't need the commander? 17k gold for an era 2, and you can get none of this tank for, I mean, the base price is 12.5 for an era 2 tank, and sometimes you can get even the tanks cheaper, or you get a lot of them in the season, but very expensive. You can get Object 263 for its value of 14.4 gold as well. So it would have been better if you earned it last year, because this time these tanks are not available for a discount. They're available, but an expensive price. And we don't know if KP07 will be available in store for Snowball or something else, but so far there's no details. But if I have to guess, I was thinking about it and I thought maybe they're going to put that tank in the test again. And that will be the only way. Because there's no details, but that's just a guess. For in-store 2D and 3D commanders, we got a bunch of them again. Jack Frost, Melty Melvin, if you want to, Mrs. Claus, if you want to get them for gold directly. Then we have in-store camos, a variety as well. A bunch of different camos available for 300 gold. And then garage gear. Yeah, so that's it. All the information we have for winter store as well as the in-store bundles. But going back to what I was saying for KPZ, so we have no details how the KPZ would be available so far. And this is just guesses. First, we don't know what the rate of war chest will be. What we know is there will be a Mystic war chest, and if there's Mystic, I assume it's not purchasable, as the tank or new tank is exclusive to Mystic only. We can only get it from Yule and Silver. However, maybe they'll improve the drop rate slightly and maybe add a guarantee mechanic with the Mystic War Chest, that's the best case scenario that will happen. Now, I don't see any changes. And for KPZ, we might only be able to get it from Winter Chest or Mystic War Chest again, and not directly. Or maybe there'll be magic and it'll be earnable or given to everyone for free, but I doubt that's going to happen because how expensive the tank was last year. I guess they want to maintain that rarity of the tank, and if anyone wants it, they have to pay a decent amount for it. But the good news was last year we were able to earn chests every day, and from that chest, someone will definitely get lucky and will get the KPZ or even the new tank. And that's what I say, like, don't buy the chest to get the new tank, right? Like, it's going to cost you too much, especially if you're a new player. You'll earn it, just play regularly, earn stuff, and you'll still be able to get a lot of items. Yeah, you won't be able to get one item, but don't focus on that. Don't you don't ruin your enjoyment just thinking about that one tank. The tank is not even that good. Yeah, I get it. We won't be able to play that tank as everyone wants a new tank, or some people do want to play with a new toy. But it's not that good. You still have the Murad, you still have Action 10, and with a combination of XP boosters now, you can combine your XP boosters and do the grinds quickly. So if you're missing some tanks, do focus on those grinds, as you can grind them quickly, and of course you can grind the crews effectively as well. So your focus should be on the items you can get, as there are a lot of items that you can get. But I know somewhere down there, because even I am sad that I probably won't be able to get the new tank. I get it, right? There's no feeling to make that better. But what we can do is, of course, put your feedback once we have more details regarding the chest, that how it just should be. And of course, if people don't buy it, that's the best feedback, how the store performs. But if you buy it, right, then it's going to probably stay the same way. And in that case scenario, just focus on the items you can get, focus on those, and save your gold wisely and spend it on Season Pass and Ultimate Season Pass tanks. That's what I always recommend, like this season's Cold War tank. And for snowballs, remember, if you don't use them, they will melt away, they will disappear, and they won't be able to help you. So make sure to use the snowballs that you earn. We will have full reviews of all these 4 tanks, and of course the review on the war chest once information is released, and if it's any different from last year. But so far, to be honest, looking pretty similar. All the information we do have is identical. If I miss something, that's a different thing, but it looks identical to what we had last year, so I don't expect the chest to be any different. And as I said, I was weak last year as well, and I ended up spending 80,000 gold. I was only missing 3 tanks that were available in Mystic War Chest. There were like 20, 25. I was missing 3, and the KPD was my last one. So I ended up spending 80,000 gold to get the tank, and I didn't even play the tank that much. I was weak, and I would not recommend to get the chest to hoping that you would get a tank and you'll be lucky. Yeah, and of course, if you have the resource, and you can do whatever you want, but that's not what I was talking about. So that's it for this video. Do you let me know what you think about the Winterfest? We'll have the toy rank mode for the first 2 weeks, and then the event modes for the 3rd and 4th week. We'll have the details as we're close to those weeks. But that's it for this video. Do let me know in the comments what you think about the new tanks, the store and storefront bundles, and what do you think about the exclusivity of new tank to Mystic War Chest, and also no information about KPZ. Everyone was waiting, because I was very sure since last year it was chest locked, it might be earnable or directly buyable or at a discount. But even the tanks that are available, like the SS12 and 283, they are very expensive. I mean, yeah, that's the base price, but they're not available at a discount, and one of them is in bundle. So yeah, make sure to comment, because that's the only way things will change. Throughout the year, we had mostly positive stuff, except the skill-based matchmaking. And this Winterfest was also what I was worried about. I was not impressed how it was last year. But this time I was more prepared, and I'm going to focus on positive things and not hoping that I'll get the tank, because likely that's going to happen. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.